Hey YouTube, so here we are. It's the morning after the Oktoberfest. Back at the car in the garage. Got a lot of work to do. Obviously you can see here in the car the torque tubes, the torque ball is broken in half. We're hoping that's all the problem is. There's quite a bit to get this out. Gonna have to pull the tail tank off. Bumper's got to come out, tires got to come off, pull that back, get that all apart, see if we can figure out what went wrong, why the torque ball broke. Obviously the U-joint was hitting it, ate it up, and it broke in half. Driver thinks that the motor was seizing up, so we're going to end up having to drain the oil. Hopefully it was the torque tube problem that was making him think that's what was happening. But we're still going to have to check it. We don't want to go all the way back to the next race if the motors are not any good. So we'll be draining all the oil out. We're going to cut the oil filter open. Probably do that tomorrow night because my brother has the oil filter cutter. We'll get that. Mitchell's going to drive down there, get our hands on that tomorrow. Like I said, a lot of work to do. So I'll let you peek at me starting a project by myself. Kids are out doing stuff today. I know they're adults, but they're kids to me. And I think DJ's going to make an appearance. Mitchell will make an appearance, help me out, do the things that take two people today. And today's just figure out where we're at, see what I need to order for parts so we can get them here so that hopefully we can get this thing back together Wednesday or Thursday. And then we got some big decisions to make for the weekend, headed down to Thompson. I'll keep you posted. All right, so Mitchell's on his way. Like I said, a two-person job to get the fuel tank out of here when it's full. I'm just going to loosen the bolts. That's to save us time when he gets here. I already disconnected the hose. This is where you wish you had a 19-gallon fuel cell. Well, that and every day you wish you had a 19-gallon fuel cell. Smaller fuel bladder. We don't need typically anything, even on extra distance race, more than 10 gallons. So these 27-gallon cells are were done for the forever on the back of the midget. And this thing here is it's a tail tank. It's an outer tank with a rubber bladder in it, and it keeps the methanol in there. Like I said, this is a 27, a traditional fuel tank. The bigger midgets, the 400 horsepower motor, and we say bigger, they're actually the same size that we run here in the NEMA Light. It's the same car, but they run the bigger motors, more horsepower. They go through a lot of methanol. So that's what these tanks were designed for big, long 100-lap races back in the day, the good old days. These NEMA Light, these Focus motors, are actually pretty economical. We don't maybe use 11 gallons on a complete race weekend. So a lot of guys have switched over to the smaller tail tank. That might be something you see us do over the winter. Definitely a lot more room to work. Get to mount it up a little bit higher. We run asphalt, so we run pretty low to the ground. So sometimes we scuff the bottom of ours. Might show you that a little bit later on when we look at it. But like I said, I'm kind of stubborn. I don't see Mitchell yet. I might try to pull this thing off myself because all the bolts are already out. Yeah, piece of cake. Come on, you. So now the tail tank's out. You can see the whole drive line's exposed to me so we can work. We can see what's going on. I'll be disconnecting the shock sway bar, Jacob's ladder, which is this guy right here. Disconnect that off of the hub. We'll disconnect the trailing arms so that I can pull the rear end back so that I can get the axle out, because the axle is actually spring loaded into there. Check everything out. I really think that the input I got this morning might be right about the torque tube being too long. plenty of room there, but we're definitely going to check it out and see what we can do to get all this replaced. All right, gonna keep plugging away, doing what I can do until Mitchell gets here. When he sees this video, his name will have been spoken more than it has ever been spoken before. He's here. Pretend he's not. Did you get lost?
What's leaking?
What's leaking? I had to go pee. I'm old, you know.
The car take a shit. Was that fuel?
A shit would be leaky. Not a good shit.
Oh, did you pull the tank off? Is that why?
No, I didn't pull the tank off. It's still there.
Well, not, why? What's all? Is this oil?
Well, it's methanol for pulling the tank off.
That's what I was asking.
Say hello to YouTube world.
It's further up. So am I going to Uncle Max farm?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I already told YouTube all about it. All right, here we are, all taken apart, ready to pull the rear end out. Just back far enough so we can get everything out. Looks like our U-joint's trying to pull out of here. Pick the rear end up and pull the axle back, and that should be able to come right out. And then I'll be able to assess the damage, so we'll see you in a minute. So this is night 2, this is the big night where we figure out if the motor's good or not. So I'll let you know once I find out. First thing I'm gonna do is drain the oil. Got a clean oil pan to drain everything in so I can look at the oil, and then we're gonna go through the motion of cutting open the oil filter and seeing what we can see inside the oil filter. So I'll bring you along for that journey. In the meantime, get you guys situated on camera so you can watch me work. Alright, so here we are with the oil filter cutter. Get ready to cut the oil filter. I've actually already started. Probably should have cleaned my area a little bit better so I'm not contaminating it. But this is how it works. It goes on there with a little bit of that, just like a pipe cutter. And we're going to work our way around, cut this thing open, and have a verdict here shortly. All right, guys, so here we are. Just about wrapping up for tonight. Basically, got to make sure I have all the parts we need to get ready for this coming weekend. We'll see how that goes. Pit Stop USA sent me email confirmation that the new torque ball and torque tube is on the way. Time to rally the rest of the troops. I think we're going to be back in business and ready to head down to Thompson. So like I said, stay tuned. We'll have more to talk about before the end of the week. Probably be here tomorrow night to come in here, clean everything up, and get it ready to start installing. So I'll get everything laid out so that when the torque tube gets here on Wednesday and the torque ball, hopefully we can get the rear end back in the car instead of sitting here on the floor. Yeah, how about that? That's the rear end. You guys can keep yelling at me on working the camera because that's not my gig. But anyways, that's where we stand. Everything looks good. We had a bunch of broken parts. And actually the way that torque tube was eaten up, I think we're going to come out of this faster than we were before. I don't think that torque tube binding up was helping us at all. That could be the handling gremlin that we've been fighting all along. We'll find out. Bound up torque tubes, no good. So everything was welded solid. We missed it, and now we pay the price. But I think the motor's good, rear end's good. Now connect them back together and we'll be in business. So here we are, night before the race. Car still looks like it's pretty apart, but great progress here today. UPS is looking for a driver. Just kidding. Was able to get the day off, so got over here, so we're not pulling an all-nighter. New torque tube is in, torque ball. we somewhere, somehow along the line, I'll take ownership on it. We weren't checking the torque ball, so we ended up with a clearance issue. And when we did, the torque, the coupler was rubbing the torque tube, welded the torque ball to it. Torque ball stopped working as it should. Ended up hitting the U-joint. U-joint shaved the torque ball out. We got lucky. We got all the broken parts out. We had the torque ball that came in the mail. Didn't fit our torque ball housing, so we ended up having to get a new housing overnighted in. FedEx couldn't guarantee the delivery, even though they did deliver it. So I ended up buying another torque ball and had that one show up today that fits our housing. Got that from Speedway. They were able to get it here because they use UPS and they guaranteed it. Regardless, torque ball was here. That one was here first thing this morning. This one was here around noon. We've got it all together. The video from last week showed us that we had a kingpin issue in the front. I've been able to get some heavier grease in there and get rid of that slop quite a bit. Hopefully that will help the front end out. Oil change is done. The oil looked real good. I cut the filter open to make sure. The driver thought the motor was tightening up. All that's been done. Everything checks out. Oil change, gears in it for Thompson. It's ride height and scale, and put all the panels back on, and maybe even the tail tank. That'd probably help too. So we probably got another couple hours here, and we'll be loading up. So what I thought was going to be an overnight all-nighter is actually we'll be getting some sleep tonight. So we just finished setting the ride heights. We're putting the car up on scales right now, so that we can get the cross weight where we need it. Matt's going to get in, so we set the ride heights with Matt in the car, and now we're going to set the corner weights to go with the cross weight that we're looking for the track we're going to. So basically what that is we turn left all the time, so the car drives off the left rear and the right front. So we're looking, we can't change left side without making a bunch of changes in the car. So basically our adjustment is the cross weight. So basically you take how much the left rear and the right front weigh up compared to the left front and the right rear. And that percentage of that cross compared to the other cross is your cross weight number. So now we've got the cross weight number where we want it. So now what I'll do is I'll neutralize the sway bars so that they're everything goes in free at that cross weight. So it basically, when I put the bolts in, they're just free, nice and even. We're ready to go to the Thompson Speedway, the World Series of Auto Racing 2-day event. We'll be leaving tomorrow morning at 5:30. A lot of work this week, a lot of work. Very busy getting the car done. It's all scaled, ride height set. We're ready to go. Hopefully everything works out good. We'll be leaving here at 5:30, and we'll see you there. Alright guys, so if you like the videos, make sure you subscribe to the Home Check channel. Check back, like the videos every time you watch them. That helps us out, and we'll see you.